She was warned though, my profile said you want a bad boy? I'm bad at everything. People ask Reddit. Girls with an awkward/introverted boyfriend/husband, how did he approach you? He didn't, I approached him. But I asked him out twice and he didn't get the hint. It took a year later and us hanging out extensively for 8 months for him to ask me out. Except he asked me out by texting me, wait, are we dating or something? We were already friends. Another friend lied to me and said he had a crush on me, so I asked him out. Been together for 5 years, since senior year. She approached me. Which I think is pretty standard for shy people. Even still, it took a lot of hints for me to get it. Hey. We should study sometime, okay cool. Hey. Here's my phone number with hearts used to dot the I's in my name, you know. For studying, okay, thanks. What do you think of my new outfit? I kind of want to go out in it, looks great. Have fun, you. I want to go out with you. Reply. Holy shit, you're actually onto something here. Of the 3 women I've been with, they've all approached me or made the first move after we met from just hanging out with mutual friends. Maybe they think I'm just shy or aloof or something and they're into that, but in reality it's just because my self-esteem is literally non-existent. I made the first move. Always had a huge crush on him. 7 years of friendship and dating. Reply. Thank goodness there are women like you. My wife and I met in high school, worked at the same place. Eventually we both started getting feelings for each other, but I was not going to make a move after my first attempt at approaching someone who I thought had feelings for me. She made all the moves and we've been together since. Just past 10 years of dating/engaged/married a couple months ago. Well, not all the moves, I did propose. I kinda placed myself beside him and loudly talked about loving video games because he was playing on a console set up in our college game room. He asked if I wanted to play video games together and so I swapped numbers with him. I spanked his butt in Halo, then I let him spank mine. Hey you. It happened really organically. We had some friends in common and started talking because of them. I could tell he was into me because he wanted to be around me all the time and I would always catch him staring. I had to stay in school until later some days and he would always stay with me even though he could have just gone home. We started talking more and more during that time we had alone, and found out we had so many things in common. He got a lot more comfortable around me so he would make jokes, put his arm around me, etc. A couple months later, we were at a party and he said he wanted to talk, so we went to a more private place surrounded by these gorgeous roses. He was shaking and his heart was beating so fast before he told me he liked me and wanted to be with me. Then we kissed for the first time and have been together for 4 years now. I'm the guy, not the girl, but she in fact approached me. I was sitting on the train at the back of the carriage when I saw her come in. She looked as if she was going to sit at the front, almost all the seats were empty, but I saw her look up the back and she appeared to change her mind. She walked all the way down the carriage, then sat in the seat in front of mine. At this point I was wondering what I should do. I normally don't talk to anyone, but there were only about 5 people in the carriage and she'd walked past at 10 empty seats to sit in the one in front of me. While I was still wondering whether I should talk to her or not, she turned around and started talking to me. We've been married about 12 years now. I met him through my sister and she told me he lives nearby, so I randomly texted him. It was close to midnight, once, and asked him if he would want to watch a movie with me. And, surprisingly, he was in front of my door like 5 minutes later. We watched Totoro and he stayed until 4 a.m, that's how we became friends. In school we often spend our time together and he kinda started to make his first moves. He wasn't flirting though, he just randomly grabbed my hand and sat very close to me often. This doesn't sound too nerdy, but just let me tell you, the first time I was at his place he showed me his pocket watch collection and his huge Minecraft world in which he rebuilt several Thai and German buildings, many of them having to do with World War II, GDR and his homeland. I don't think that's how you usually flirt with girls, especially at 17. But I guess it worked and I love him very dearly. If you want to support our new channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. We would also love to read some feedback in the comments. Thank you very much. Intro husband here, went to a party that I didn't want to go to be a wingman for my friend. This girl he was trying to get with had a best friend who was the life of the party and center of attention and wanted nothing to do with her. I was chilling in the kitchen with the other introverts and this girl kept asking me to hold her drink while she did something. Literally no other conversation than hold my drink. I kept putting it on the counter trying to ignore her till she finally grabbed my hand and asked me to come outside with her. I did, and as soon as we went out we saw her roommate passed out in the snow. I carried her roommate back to her apartment across the way and tucked them both in for the night and left. She got my number from her friend and texted me the next morning. Now we're 5 years and 2 kids later. Reply: she called dibs on you with that drink. Girls are territorials when at parties. Reply: is that actually a thing when a girl does that? Was wondering why my girlfriend got mad when a girl asked me to hold her drink. I figured I was doing someone a nice favor. Reply: boys, this may be a new breakthrough in womenology. I accidentally told someone at the summer camp where we worked that I had a crush on her. Of course the person I told was a loudmouth, so I figured I would get to her and tell her first. It was amazing the level to which my anxiousness subsided for fear of her finding out from someone else, after my words were all twisted up and misconstrued. To my surprise, she was obviously, immediately interested, even though we had never even spoken before that. She thought it was cute that I needed to tell her myself and make sure that I told her the right way, with an explanation of what happened. She interrupted me while I was explaining and said, "Yes, I get it, we're going out now." Wow. She did happen to hear from 2 people later that day that I was telling everyone how much I liked her, which wasn't the case at all. She just told them, "Yep, I know, we're going on a date tonight." Still gives me butterflies. Been together 10 years, married for 5. Moral of the story: put aside shyness. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Be honest, be true to yourself. I'm gonna speak for my girl here. I just messaged her on that dating app after we both liked each other. She was warned though, my profile said you want a bad boy? I'm bad at everything. And after 2 months, I've rejected one offer to meet up. We did actually meet. Never been happier before. I asked him out. On the first date, I walked into his room naked after going to the restroom. He took the hint and we're currently engaged. Reply: the naked man works about 1/3 of the time, but the naked woman always works. He stood by my desk every morning looking sad and desperately trying to come up with small talk that wasn't about bagels. Then he checked what I was doing every day as he headed out to lunch. It was obvious he was trying to do the impossible, talk to the human female. I eventually put him out of his misery and gave him my number and told him to take me to lunch when I got back from a trip. I'm the guy, but my best friend invited me to a concert and told me last minute he's bringing this chick he's into and not to blow it for him. So I go into wingman mode and just am acting like myself because I don't have to impress her, and made some small talk here and there. Apparently she didn't know he was into her and asked him for my number since she thought I was cute. She was supposed to move across the country in a week, so it was supposed to be a fun fling, but she came back 2 weeks later because she hated it, and we've been together 8 years. Best friend was cool about it and we all hang out together when we can. We met on Tinder and he asked me about breakfast food. I was suspicious because I thought it was going to be some gross pickup line, but no, he's just really into breakfast food. 3 years together this summer, living together for 2. I am the awkward/introverted boyfriend. Since I considered her 100% to be out of my league, I also had no hopes/illusions about ever dating her. Consequence, I wasn't as awkward with her as I usually am with women, and she ended up asking me out. Going strong for nearly 3 years now. 10/10 would date again. My girlfriend approached me at a barbecue, where I knew basically no one, and talked to me for about 2 hours. The next day she found me on Facebook and asked me on a date. 2 dates later she kissed me and invited me back to her place. I suspect she'll propose to me at some point. As a guy, this is the preferable way to start a relationship. I was a fishnet wearing, metal loving punker. He was in a band. A fun horror punk band that wrote songs about bad B horror flicks. He was the keyboardist and was so very painfully awkward, out of place, and had very little stage presence other than a fake bullet hole to the head and a white lab coat covered in fake blood and a very out of place Sum 41 shirt. I couldn't tell if it was ironic or not. Lol. It wasn't. Lol. I guess that left an impression on me. The show was a blast though, and I ended up buying a band tee that night. Fast forward 4 whole years and I came across his profile on a dating site. He stated right in his profile the band's name and I instantly remembered him. Here was this tie wearing, corporate IT guy. But I remembered this nerd keyboard player and thought, I have to let him know how much fun I had that night. It was a slow burn, it took us 6 months to meet as we both had very busy lives. Fast forward 4 more years and we are now married and expecting our firstborn next month. Ladies, go for the nerdy guys. He's the sweetest, kindest, smartest man I've ever known and I couldn't imagine my life without him. Thank you for listening to another B-Town Reddit Stories episode. Hit the subscribe button and check out our channel for more stories. Let us know your opinion about this topic in the comments.